Hello beautiful people, this is Dragonflow. So lately I've been exploring the concept of the outlier or becoming an outlier. And there's two books I read that really helped me along my journey on this path of being an outlier. And one of them is Mastery by Robert Greene. And the other one is obviously Outliers by my favorite author, Malcolm Gladwell. So in order to become an outlier, we have to first start with a definition of what an outlier is. So here's the definition according to the dictionary and according to the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Outliers, something that is situated away from or classed differently from a main or related body. Definition 2, a statistical observation that is markedly different in value from the others of its sample. So it's basically to say that an outlier is something that stands out from the group. Now, this is what's already special, is that we are already born different from everybody else. If you look at all your fingertips, look at your face, you look at your stature, you look like nobody else looks. You speak like nobody else speaks. Your fingertips look like no other people's fingertips. And so you are already an outlier. I think due to conformity and trying to belong to society, we lose this ability to be different, and so we lose our ability to actually be an outlier. So I think it's high time we come back onto our own and try our best through hours of practice, which both books speak about, to become individuals again and try and sort of manipulate the system by cultivating what is special within us. So in both books they talk about the 10,000 hour practice rule, right? You can master anything with about 10,000 hours of consistent practice, which is an average of about 3 hours a day for 10 years. In Mastery, it goes a step further in saying that once you reach the 20 or 30,000 hour mark, your brain becomes so remarkably different from other people's brains in that skill that you're doing, that what you're doing almost becomes like a sixth sense. You don't even think about it anymore. Kind of like Da Vinci or Shakespeare or people like that. So, how do you become an outlier? Well, I'll tell you my experience and then you do with what you will. So in my area of Montreal where I live, I saw that there was no male yoga instructors. And I actually like fitness and I like yoga to begin with. So I started doing my yoga teacher training certificate. At first, obviously, nothing was happening. I was just practicing. Financially, nothing was coming in. It was just more output than coming in, yeah? So that's it. I was practicing for a year, and then suddenly, that's when this kind of outlier experience happened. I started working as a yoga instructor, and within a year, we started from having one class to I had about something like 12 classes. And already that I was a male yoga instructor, people took to me, and that was really cool. But then I also started teaching yoga in a bit of a different way. I started implementing martial arts and started implementing Pilates. So I already was an outlier because I was a male yoga instructor, but then I became an outlier because I was teaching yoga in a different way. And then at the place I worked at, I saw an opening to teach Pilates because the Pilates instructor was kind of leaving. And so here I saw an opportunity again, no male Pilates instructors. So I took it upon myself to become a Pilates instructor also. And then obviously the two kind of arts, Pilates and yoga, fused together, and I created this hybrid class, which is kind of like yoga and Pilates, which added some extra revenue and some extra classes to my arsenal, right? So I took it upon myself to do things in my area that nobody was doing. I mean, I'm not to say that I reinvented the wheel. In little pockets all around the world, there's male yoga and Pilates instructors for sure. But the thing is, sometimes in order to be successful, you don't have to be an outright outlier that stands up like on a global scale. You can just place yourself and be an outlier in your neighborhood and touch upon things that nobody's touching, right? Then I got more experiences to be an outlier. I was getting asked for things that are kind of rare in the fitness industry. I was getting asked to do yoga for multiple sclerosis. I was getting asked to train people with Parkinson's. I was asked to teach people with autism. So the more I was leaning into doing things that nobody else was doing, the more I was getting asked for things that nobody else was doing. I guess it became the whole idea of trying to become an outlier. People saw it as a reflection and asked me things they wouldn't normally ask other people. And so this could happen to you. And so why I also like the book Mastery is that he tells you, you don't have to necessarily stick on a one fixed path to mastery, right? So if you're into fitness, you can be doing martial arts here, a little yoga there, a little weightlifting there. And once you get into your 10,000, 15, 20,000 hours, it's going to become second nature to you. And you're going to do what you're going to do with relative ease. But not just that, you're going to be one of the only people doing it. If not on a global scale, at least in your neighborhood, which will differentiate you and will place you in a position where people only come to you. So, we're in a culture that focuses on being the best, right? I think being the best is overrated. I think what you really want to aim for is to be an outlier. Be the only person doing what it is that you are doing. Or at least try anyways. Try and grab fragments of information anywhere you can, and try to create something that's completely novel, where you are associated with that thing. And make sure that craft and that art that you're working on is so beautiful, it's so originally beautiful, that people are going to be drawn to it anyways. The next thing in being an outlier is not that you just do something differently and that's it works and you wipe your hands of it and that's it, that's all. You have to make sure that even though it's original, that it caters to the audience you wish it to cater to, or else you will not eat, right? Malcolm Gladwell and Robert Greene are outlier authors in the way that they write, but they cater to a big audience at large. A lot of people read their books. They're very relatable. You can read their book at any phase in your life and be like, wow, this makes sense. So be relatable as well as being an outlier. And so that's it. Aim at creating something that is totally unique, totally original, and separate yourself from the pack. Being the best, way overrated. What you want to be is one of the only people, if not the only people, doing what it is that you're doing in a special sort of way. Namaste.